When we call the role of Kansas City's musical heroes, a lot of jazz comes to mind. Benny Moten, Mary Lou Williams, and of course Charlie Parker.
Pat Metheny and Burt Bacharach are also from here.
And of course Gene Clark. Well, he was a co-founding member of the Byrds and wrote a lot of songs that rock and roll bands still play today.
November 17th, which would have been his 70th birthday, was proclaimed Gene Clark Day by Missouri Governor Jay Nixon.
That night, musicians paid tribute to him in a concert at Knuckleheads, and later in the week, the Gene Clark Symposium drew even more of the true believers to town.
He was born in Tipton, Missouri. His family moved to Kansas City. He was a baby and grew up here, went to Raytown High, and then graduated from Bonner Springs High. So he was an important part of Kansas City's music history.
You know, Gene, he heard the Beatles, and that kind of changed his mind about wanting to stay just in the folk vein.
It was folk music back in 1963 which first whisked Gene away from Kansas City. Seems several members of the New Christy Minstrels, remember them, were in town performing at Starlight Theater, saw Gene's group, the Surf Riders, playing at a club on the Landing, and pretty much offered him a job on the spot. Just a year later, Gene Clark's storybook tale took another amazing turn.
He met Roger McGuinn at Troubadour in Hollywood after he left Christy Minstrels. And David Crosby ambled over and started singing some third-part harmonies, and before you knew it, the Byrds were born.
And I'll probably feel a whole lot better when you're gone. Oh, when you're gone. Oh, when you're gone.
By the time Gene was 21 years old, he had a #1 hit. Only about a year before that, he was out driving a tractor in the field. So it was kind of, you know, skyrocket to the moon kind of thing.
Well, I've been running around trying to prove I was in love with you.
But the man who took us 8 miles high couldn't maintain the orbit for long. Just 2 years later, ironically in part due to a fear of flying, Gene left the group to embark on a series of solo projects and musical partnerships with some of the best folk, rock, and country players around. A 25-year musical odyssey detailed in a documentary called The Bird Who Flew Alone.
And I laughed as the Joker said, lead on.
And all along, he continued to make music admired by his peers, but largely ignored by the record-buying public.
There's a train leaves here this morning. I don't know what I might be on.
In 1991, burdened by problems with drugs and alcohol, Gene Clark died at the age of only 46.
Have you seen the change in rivers? Now they wait their turn to die.
There's a handful of his songs that people just go crazy over. And once they hear those, they want to go a little bit deeper. And they get a little bit deeper into the catalog, and they find another handful that they like just as well. And then they'll go a little bit deeper. And at that point, you're stuck. You know, it's like the La Brea Tar Pits.
Have you seen the silver raven? She has wings and she can fly.
Cell phone, thank you.
Though it's mostly symbolic, the no cell phone rule to prohibit bootlegging is in effect here at the Phillips Hotel, just 3 days after what would have been Gene Clark's 70th birthday. Like the first one 3 years earlier, this symposium has drawn participants from near and far. The kind of writers, fans, and collectors who just can't get enough of the music Gene Clark made.
Some of them come from original tape reels from 1966 that Gene actually made as 5 demo songs.
You said I love you, wish you were here.
Gene Clark, in my opinion, will be seen in history as the greatest combination singer-songwriter who's ever lived.
To me, he's up there with Neil Young and Bob Dylan, and at that level. But people, you know, Gene who?
He had a great voice. He had great lyrics, incredible music. just ethereal music, almost like a Mozart or Puccini.
I'm a musician myself, so I tend to hear the chord changes, and one of the songs they just played, I'm sitting there going, okay, that's C, E minor, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the heck was that? David Crosby said Gene Clark didn't know the rules for writing music, so he just wrote it however he wanted it to sound.
What a prolific songwriter he was. It never stopped. To the day he died, he was still producing music.
I'm fascinated by his creativity. There's only a certain percentage of all that stuff that he wrote that ever made it to being released records. And I want to hear it all.
Deep discussions about deep cuts dominate the proceedings. But there's also time for symposium goers to get out and see some of the places that helped shape Gene Clark's art. Like this railroad trestle near the family's home at the edge of Swope Park. He later wrote a song called Kansas City Southern. Or the venerable old dairy dine, where Bonner Springs teens like Gene spent lots of their leisure time. And of course, 100 miles to the east, his first home and final resting place. This year, Tipton, Missouri, and Los Angeles also held Gene Clark tribute concerts.
There was just something about Gene that people were drawn to, not only in terms of his musical talent and his songwriting ability, but just him as a person. Despite whatever demons he might have had and things he struggled with, people still loved Gene a lot.
I here set my hand to be caused to be affixed this great seal that proclaims November 17th to be Gene Clark Day in Missouri.
You hear REM and what they did in Athens, Georgia, or in the early 90s country sound in Nashville. It's a big Byrds influence, and so, a big Gene Clark influence, all over. Those songs have endured, some of them for 50 years, and I think they'll continue to endure.
And a problem is feel our